GM, everyone. Okay, we are here at Hope House, COP28. We've had some amazing interviews tonight, but I'm super excited to have this interview because you know what I love to do on Crypto Mondays? I love to introduce people that are big wigs, OGs, capitans, major mojos in the crypto blockchain space that you never even heard of. Now, there's a lot of people behind the scenes working, and there's a lot of people like my friend here, Oliver Krause, who has done projects that you will hear about. You'll like, oh my God, he's done that? So I'm excited to have Oliver Krause here for our final interview of the evening. And let me tell you, we've had some amazing interviews tonight, but this is the one I've been looking forward to. He's founded multiple things. He's part of the board of many other things. We're going to get to those things really quite quickly, but I'm going to pick his brain on different things. First of all, glad to have you on Crypto Mondays Global, Oliver.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Josh, for having me. Very excited, and you raised the bar, actually.
Excellent. Well, so yeah, I told everybody that you know, you're an amazing guy in crypto. Let's just start with your background, okay? You know, where you come from. What got you into Web3 and crypto blockchain, and what are a few projects that you've led or worked on so far, just to let people know who you are?
Please. Yeah, of course, yeah. So basically, I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer by training, worked a lot at the intersection of IT processes and then organizational topics early on in my career. I did also work in the 1990s in AI, in the aerospace industry, and then moved on into consulting, IT management consulting, and then strategy consulting with Arthur D. Little. In 2017 or 2016, I had a conversation with the back then CEO of Bosch Group, Volkmar Denner, a long conversation, and he was so bullish about applications of blockchain technology in the data economy for large corporates that I thought, okay, man, it's time. I've been following the space, yeah? And I have heard in 2014 about a crazy guy, Vitalik, inventing the world computer and stuff like that, yeah? But then I thought, okay, it's really time to dive deep and discover the substance, and so that's how I initiated and co-founded with a number of guys, entitled Inc., stands for It's Not Centralized, group of people working together in advisory work first, but then we quickly discovered that it makes more fun and it's also a better outcome developing own ventures, yeah, in the whole blockchain, crypto, Web3 world. And we did a number of those. Mention, for instance, Spool FI, which is a DeFi yield DAO, launched 2021, yeah, and liquidity, for instance, that's fan engagement and financing for sports and creator economies. And then I, let's say personally, in the last 2 years, I have been focusing on all topics around sustainability and token economy, because that's a really exciting use case, I would say.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Tell me about the, we're going to get to the token economy and this exciting use case in a second, but tell me about the esports thing that you've done, because this is super exciting to a lot of Crypto Mondays members.
Yeah. I mean, esports would be one potential client. We also exploring that, but Liquidity and the product Unify, that's a modular software as a service solution, or where sports franchises, for instance, and creators can issue token packs and token NFT packs and different let's say tools based on NFTs. Yeah. The first first client has been Borussia Dortmund, which is a major German soccer club.
Yeah, Borussia Dortmund fans out there.
and recently Bayern Munich, we closed the deal with Bayern Munich. They built their complete Web3 infrastructure.
Oh, they're the boss, Bayern Munich, man. That's like the team of the fucking century right there. They got Schweinsteiger, they got Krause, they got. I saw them play a few times, man. They kick everybody's ass. They took Brazil down. That's one of the best teams in the world. Yeah. And you got them into NFTs and crypto and blockchain.
Exactly. That's starting now. The deal has been closed like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. We have been in discussions like for 2 years or so to get them in. And now we are very happy that this works out, and we're very excited of what we are going to launch with them. Yeah. So
can you reveal what that is?
Not yet, unfortunately, because we are going to work with it.
Oh, yeah. we got so pre-launch something that's coming up in the German Football League, guys. That's going to be amazing. So but you know what you say?
Yeah.
Oh, go.
And with the German soccer and football national team for the Euro 2024, we are also working with them together with Springer, that's a sports media company. So exciting things to come.
Wow.
I would say.
But you know what? He said they made a company called It's Not Complicated, INC. All right? And no, it's not centralized. Yeah, but I've changed it. I changed it to it's not complicated, right? It's not centralized, okay? And in German, that actually would be eins. Es ist nicht kompliziert, right? But so the thing is that it is complicated, some of the stuff that it sounds like he's talking about. I want you to break it down a little bit, and instead of talking about es ist nicht zentralisiert, it's not centralized, I want you to break it down and say it's not complicated. So tell us about the project that you're working on, besides this huge success that you've done. So now everybody knows who I'm talking about here. Now you know he's in stealth projects that are game-changing products, and in another few months from now, you're going to hear about it on the news, and you're like, oh, wow, that's that. Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, the two top German teams, by the way, are now working because of what this man has said. But so he's in stealth mode and all this kind of stuff. But break it down what you're doing now, because the carbon. So we're at COP28. We need to get into that. I could talk about Schweinsteiger's moves all night. Let me tell you, man, I love that guy. And then the goalkeeper, what's his name?
Lehmann, you mean?
Huh?
Lehmann
in Bayern.
In Bayern, yeah.
Yeah.
I think isn't it Lehmann anymore?
Lehmann?
No, not anymore.
I don't know. The guy was pretty good. The goalkeeper was pretty good. Anyways, but you see, but
I'm now in the whole sustainability world.
That's right. So let's move away from football and move into sustainability. Now we're here and is talking about important issues. We're trying to highlight these important projects, and they agree. The crowd behind us agrees fully. Okay, so tell us about Carbon Base, which is your new project or newer project, and now we know that it's your previous project. We know that you work on significant projects. We know that you work on no bullshit, the real deal. Yeah, Achtung, pay attention, y'all, because Oliver's going to tell us about Carbon Base and
Green Base.
I'm sorry, Green Base. No, Carbon Base was another one. Gosh, I've been talking to too many people, mate. Sorry about that.
No problem.
You're going to tell us about Green Base.
Exactly.
And what it does, what the significance is, and you're going to make it INC. It's not complicated, just to break it down for the people that aren't experts, like basically everyone.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I'll let you hold it.
So, So let's say it like this. Like 2.5 years ago, a friend of mine who was developing such a nature-based solutions company looking to tokenize carbon credits. We had a few conversations, we looked into it, and we thought about designing nature-backed currency, basically, a currency token, stuff like that. I had a look around in this space, met a few guys, and then I thought, okay, what about the tech products and the tech ventures that actually can reduce CO2 emissions? For instance, replacing fossil fuels with fully synthetic fuels, green cement, green steel, and other stuff. beyond what we see and what needs to be done, protecting rainforests, reforestation, nature. How do we get rid of emissions? Yeah? And how are these projects funded? And that's how the idea came to life, to build a venture, channeling money into those ventures. And to give you a feel, a company like Spark eFuels in synthetic airline fuel, yeah, they have about 10 million funding now to do a demo demo project, and they would need about 100 million to build a commercial scale plant so that an airline like Etihad or Lufthansa or so could buy their fuel. Currently, sustainable airline fuel is made of biofuels, and when you can do it chemically, this happens more or less with a lot of renewable energy from sun, solar, normally, and water. It's a well-known process, very energy intense, yeah, but we don't have a shortage of sun, yeah, here, specifically in Dubai. Exactly. And this could actually help significantly to remove about 75% in total of the total global CO2 emissions.
How much?
If 75%, if not the airline fuel, but if we get rid of the fossil fuel energy production. I don't know whether you guys are aware of that about 92% of the global energy need, that's about 160 petawatt, 92% thereof is provided today by fossil fuels, oil, gas, coal. Yeah? And this is responsible for about 75% of all CO2 emissions, and therefore, and only 8% is renewable energy, despite all these efforts of the last decades. This means the real topic is actually transition and transformation of the energy sector, and this requires about 275 trillion US dollars over the next 30 years. Yeah, that's a number that has been calculated by McKinsey. They did a very good report here in 2022. Yeah, a huge number. What does that mean? That's about 3 times the global gross domestic product of 100 million over 30 years. This means 8% per year has to be invested in such projects, a part of it nature-based, but a significant part of it certainly also tech-based, to transform the industrial base and the infrastructure base. Yeah?
Even as they use more.
Exactly. So, and what role, now in this market you have a lot of different players that don't know each other, that don't necessarily trust each other. Yeah, and that's actually a perfect use case for blockchain technology as a register technology, so you can track and trace transactions and what is happening, the immutable ledger. And the second aspect, which is not yet addressed widely, is that you can build an incentive machine, a token economy on top of the distributed ledger, so that you can make people and participants do the right thing, that they are honest, that they are actually motivated to invest, for instance, and stuff like that. So that's what we are trying to do. And where are we right now? We have a number of tech elements there. For track and trace, for instance, we had a biochar project where we could prove for this part that it works, so we can do it. And we have launched with the tokenization platform. We realized the project to issue a green bond in Germany, a 60 million green bond. Yeah. So that's pretty significant. It's a regulatory compliant topic.
Where are you on that stage of the green bond? No, my voice is loud, bro.
No, it's well, where are we at the stage? I mean, that's a client of our partner, so it's not us as Green Base, but it's the same technology. It's my friend.
The scenes pulling all this
no, that's okay.
Come on.
Yeah, so it's green rock energy in that phase. Yeah. And it has been issued, it has been partially sold, yeah, you can still buy it, I believe, yeah, when you go to Green Rock Energy, you can certainly find it.
And so the result is going to be?
It's channeling money into a project to decarbonize, basically, the decarbonize tech, decarbonize the atmosphere, basically pulling out carbon from the atmosphere or avoiding issuance or emittance of carbon, yeah, into the atmosphere from burning fossil fuels.
But
yeah,
in a more effective way than what other people's do. So it's basically like the Mercedes version of the carbon credits versus the Ford.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, well, I don't know whether I go that far. Yeah, but what we are doing, it's basically not, in that case, the carbon credit. Yeah, the carbon credit is a very viable tool to provide additional funding also to tech-based projects. But for instance, in sustainable airline fuel, you have a topic that each liter synthetic fuel avoids about 3.4 kilogram of CO2 emissions to the atmosphere. Now, to get to a ton, you need 300 to produce 300 liters of carbon-neutral fuel. Yeah.
2 minutes, bro.
And the fuel is currently in this experimental stage relatively expensive. So the credits will be very, very expensive compared to protecting a rainforest or reforestation. Yeah, it's something like certainly in the region of $500 or so. Yeah, okay. Whereas you have. So that's the problem. Yeah. So the major motivation for an investor is not to get a carbon credit and to offset own emissions. Yeah, it is basically a byproduct. Why would someone invest in that space? They would invest in the actual company, in the equity of Spark eFuels or P1 or whatever the other companies that are out there. And because that's a real business in the future,
that's the return.
And they want to get, so they want to buy equity, they want to get a bond when the company wants to build a plant for 100 million, and you can through a tokenized solution, you can get basically a lead investor for when you have 100 million financing volume, lead investor, and then you can basically co-invest. You can pool smaller investors. Also you and me with a few $1,000 or whatever, and you say, okay, it's a pre-vetted deal. The big guys, they invest here. I believe in it. I want to have a share in it. And I think
you have access.
Exactly, you have access, and that's
time,
exactly.
It's not just a crypto or some kind of token that has some unknown underlying value asset. This is a green bond that is, definitely going to have that return. But it might not be the 10,000x or whatever that we might want to with the meme coin, but it could actually save some of the planet.
Exactly.
While returning the value.
Exactly. So, and that's exactly the point. It has a real-world impact, and that's what I find exciting about it, that blockchain technology and token economies can have a real impact beyond that. Don't get me wrong, I mean, nothing against a GameFi token or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. We all want to have fun. We also want to have this gambling aspect and have the outsized returns and that. It's all good, yeah. But beyond that, there's the other topic.
Like safety.
Yeah, exactly. And when you want to bring it to mass adoption, you will have more token economy and blockchain inside projects, I would call it. It's not. It's the actual solution, the product and service you're offering, and that's powered by a token economy and by blockchain technology. Products and service, you have the processes, the track and trace, for instance, it's powered by blockchain.
We've heard a lot of that tonight at
the
event here.
Yeah.
With all the blockchain leaders and all the top blockchains that were speaking out there.
Exactly.
A lot of track and trace stuff.
Exactly. And that's one really valid topic. And the question here is basically, I mean, garbage in, garbage out. You have to make sure that the right data comes onto the blockchain. And then you can, it's a valid solution to it's a registered technology.
Yeah.
You can audit it. You have an audited audit trail and automate that. It's very efficient for that thing, and multiple parties can look at it, and that's the whole idea.
And as a result, that actually might end up long-term making more money than something that's going to make short-term a high or low, because people can trust in that, and then that value produces.
I mean, if you look at, I think it was Michael Bloomberg or BlackRock here. I think BlackRock who said that the next 100 unicorns or 1,000 unicorns will emerge in this whole sustainability field. And imagine we knew like 25 years ago that Amazon would be Amazon, and or 20 years ago Facebook would emerge, and you would be very early on and could participate there. It would be very attractive. Yeah.
It is true. I mean, well, I know. I mean, Lou Kerner, founder of Crypto Mondays, was an early investor in Facebook when he was a Wall Street investor, and he thinks Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. But we'll see. But you know what? In any case, Bitcoin's might go to $1 million. But if you look at Greenbase and green bonds and investing in sustainability, that's where the BlackRock guy has a lot of inside knowledge, because you know what? That's not only inside knowledge; it makes reasonable sense, right? Yeah. Vernünftigkeit is a German word, guide. Vernünftigkeit, all right? That means reason, all right? Immanuel Kant, look it up, all right?